Okay. Today's date, Tuesday, July 28th. It is 8:30 a.m. For our upcoming workshop. Will you please rise for the pledge of allegiance, followed by the prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Williams, please lead us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have granted us. Father, be with us as we do the budget of Mills County. Guide and direct us in all our actions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, Miss Sonia wanted to speak first, and she should be here in a minute. We'll start with some things I've got. And Miss Campbell, I haven't reached out to Goldsmith. Any news from Goldsmith on anything?
Well, we can decrease that budget.
Yeah, say that again.
I think we can decrease that budget if we can't get any communication, then there's no need to have money in it.
Okay,
We need to put 20 for our website and whatever, anything extra anybody wants to add, but
okay,
that'd be a great place, but.
okay. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. Well, here comes Miss Scott. I was told you want to speak to us, so you got the floor.
Actually, I just wonder if you had any questions. I wasn't able to be up here to answer direct questions. So if you had any additional questions, I'm here.
Any question for Miss Scott?
Not at this time, I don't.
If you do, just call me and Gina. It's gonna be here to take minutes.
Okay,
But we have a jury trial coming up and a few other things, and I'm down a person today, so I was gonna get in the office.
sounds good. We'll go as you need.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks. Okay, well, Commissioners, I'll get things rolling. As you saw, our county treasurer's been very busy working on these numbers. And our deficit's showing around 834,000. So I'll start off saying, I don't see any way we can do 6 new employees for the county. And Ms. Kim, I believe you give us these numbers for with all the Social Security withholding, retirement insurance is about $65,000 per employee on that, roughly. 65, 70.
I thought you told me at one time 67.
I thought it was 67, 68, yeah.
So, enforcement is 97, courthouse is 65, road is 66, almost 67.
Okay. But anyway, that's roughly a savings of nearly $400,000 there.
So from that aspect, if we were to raise the road and bridge tax, that would cover the road hand issue, adding that.
I don't see how you could raise even a penny would even cause that to cover all of them.
So you can do the 3.5%. And that 3.5% is roughly 3 cents. And then from what Charles has told us last year, that we need to raise that road and bridge. And he said that the last couple of years, but even if you,
He didn't say
1
that we have to
cent,
raise it.
no, he didn't say we have to. He didn't have to raise it, but we're getting further and further behind.
Well, we're also gonna look after our citizens and taxpayers, and the schools probably may have to raise their tax rate some this year. Their numbers are down worse than ours, from what the appraisal district's.
Correct. 90 cents is for every 1 penny raised is $90,000. So 3 cents would cover the 277 or 277,000, which would cover the road hand issue.
Well, I'm not a big fan of raising that much on the tax rate, take it right out.
Well, I think road and bridge and the county tax rate, to me, are two different things. Because if you look from year to year, we're drawing, it's costing us, you might say, $500,000 per precinct to operate. And we're not bringing in but 213,000. That close to right, summer.
That's correct, but each of your budgets are pretty close to almost $900,000. If I remember.
$900,000.
Everybody's is different.
Yeah,
So,
around 6, 7.
so one is 670. Sorry, it's just taking longer. Two is 708. Three is 616. And four is 651.
$651.
Taking the $900,000 total when you're trying to operate on that, you cannot do it. So that's when it moves to the general fund, and that takes away the rest of the county operating. That's how we're in a deficit.
Charles will be here Monday, to go over all these numbers and whatnot. Another workshop we got planned.
I think if you're gonna start somewhere, you got to start by raising the road and bridge tax. I mean, that's just,
I don't remember from last year, he told us what a penny was.
90,000.
well, it's 90,000 on the general. I don't know if it's 90,000 on the road and bridge.
I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, well,
I thought he was talking about Road and Bridge.
I thought he was talking about.
yeah, I was thinking, I'm like Robert, I thought it was, yeah.
Because the road and bridge, the 10 cents.
Yeah, 10 cents.
I can't see how 10 cents would generate 90.
I thought you pretty much said if you raise the fee, it would be
I mean,
9,000.
we're all want to raise the taxes, but we've been at the same tax rate from before I was in office. And we're operating with 8% inflation right now. You've got to either raise taxes, cut your expenses, or use some of your savings, and I think we should do all three.
I agree.
That's
Well-
a financially smart thing to do instead of being behind another year. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger. and bigger.
The solar farm will come online probably on 2028
Yeah.
or 2029, somewhere in there. So we're only, if we have to raise or whatever, it's only for a short period and then we can go back down. But I don't see, the road and bridge is not, it's constantly getting further behind. We're always taking from the general fund, which is not a bad thing because there's money in the general fund, right? I mean, it's not a bad thing. But the road and bridge is not sustaining itself.
Well, the Road and Bridge.
No, the county judge said it's not.
I mean,
We're not, we're
Well,
not covering our-
30 cents ain't gonna sustain it.
No.
30 cents, you're nearly gonna have to do the math. I don't know how, to me, that it got so upside down. But you're gonna have to do the max, which is basically the 30 cents for about 30 years to make any difference.
See if I can send Charles an email and see if he can respond.
Sheriff, come on.
To me, if we had that information, that would better where we're sitting. Because the biggest cost, one of the biggest costs is that employee, like the judge is saying, that we're adding to the road and bridge. And so. The. See. But the only thing I'm saying is that we have an income revenue to help us with that side. I don't know if there's an income revenue to help with the other hired offices. But that's still gonna put us, if the way I understand it, FMLA. And some of us don't want to do that. But I don't know, was it Robert or Dale or one of them said, and Summer, I was gonna ask you this. Since elected officials are not employees,
They're not counted in.
Are they not counting in the FMLA at all? So.
So what is our
So
number?
we have 48 employees.
Oh, I-
So what are our numbers?
You were like at the
Employees.
house with the kids.
48 without elected officials?
Because maybe this is something y'all don't know, but we have to count district court employees and the VA employees. And then if I
What was
look
the last one?
DA, district attorney's office. is
Okay.
only a portion of their salary.
Hmm.
And then part-time employees are considered a full employee.
I'm not for FMLA at all.
Well,
So that answers that question. I think one of y'all asked that. I can't remember, asked me and I didn't know the answer. I didn't know the answer to that, so. But
I mean, there's probably a point we have to, but I don't know that when you're looking at an $800,000 deficit, you need to be adding employees.
that's what I'm saying too. I see it.
To make you go over that, because sooner or later, my question on the road ends. Yeah, 6 months out of the year when they're using trucks, you could probably utilize them. If they're blading, most precincts only have two maintainers. So, I mean, I can tell you what a new one costs. So,
yeah, but you could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff during that, if they're bleeding.
you can, if you get lined out and things were working right.
Yeah.
You know, that large a deficit, I don't think it's a good idea right now.
Well, I'm not in favor of the 6 new employees myself. I wish we could, but I don't see it.
Are you not in favor of any employees?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be honest, the third road hands some, would be nice, but sometimes you ain't got enough for 2 road hands and more down the range.
Well, yeah.
Well, then, are we-
Right, we can't work other than in the shop.
Right.
And so, but we based our salaries the other day when we got our notice. Based on, we were getting an extra road hand.
Well, it wasn't guaranteed. We put that proposal.
So but we haven't, but you've already sent out the letters.
I know that.
So-
But it doesn't matter on the employees. I mean, this is still a proposed budget we're working on.
Right, but I mean, for instance, for me, I was under the understanding that we were gonna get an extra employee. So I was fine with the rate, but if we're not gonna get an extra employee, I'm basically a road hand too, so. And I'm not getting any benefits from that. We're giving a benefit to Sonia for doing extra work. We're doing FEMA work. We're giving a supplement for the treasurer's office to do extra things. What about us?
Well.
That's what I'm asking, but you've already sent out the letter, so
well,
we
have to get
can't.
those letters out. And it's proposed to 4%, and I base those numbers on our preliminary numbers. I thought they're gonna be better, and you know the story on that, they weren't.
So
But we're in a deficit, and we can't be adding all these employees. I'm not
let's
making
take
discussions.
the raises out too.
Well, we got it already posted, come out in the paper tomorrow. I don't know what we have to do on that.
You'd have to repost it and reshare them.
If you don't like
What?
your raise or your pay, you need to agree with it.
You got
I know, but I
three-
have to do that today. Today's the deadline.
No, it's not today. You got until Wednesday, Thursday. Those things went out
Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday's the deadline. You said Friday was the day you sent them, so Wednesday's the deadline. So I'd have to write the letter today and get it
Do
in.
a grievance still then. If you don't like it, do a grievance still 4%.
I'm gonna need some direction on what we're gonna do as far as the goals.
Well, we're still proposed 4% across the board for everybody. I said we stick to that.
Gonna have 3 votes. I'm gonna get 3
We
votes.
can't get a vote. It's a workshop.
No, I
Oh.
was saying.
Yeah.
Because when you get support,
I expressed my comments the other day, so.
You weren't at the meeting the other day. You mean,
No, I'm talking about at the commissioner's board meeting, 2 weeks ago.
you want $1 for everybody an hour. I want to say that, $1 an hour for.
Hourly employees.
But how do you want to address elected? So you're only gonna vote yes if we do your payroll suggestion.
No,
Okay,
it's fine.
I'm just
There's
trying,
five people.
there's no reason to shoot through all this extra work and it not be supported, so where can we land where we can get the support in a compromise and move this part of the budget forward? We're not doing anything if we're not coming to a compromise and an agreement. That's the entire budget. It'll gives me a lot of comfort.
I'm not opposed to the dollar, but the dollar for most employees is more than 4%.
Yeah.
And since I've been here, we've never gave 4%. Last year we did give a dollar 10 figure. There's a road down.
I don't think in the past we've ever had an insurance increase like we had this year either.
8.5% increase on insurance.
That's a consideration as well. So when you think of pay rate, one of the other things you have to think about is the cost on insurance too, so. I don't know if that is the best way to look at any kind of historical events in the past and how they've done it, look at what's happened in the last 4 years. And I think when you look at that, none of it matches what's happened historically. I don't think we've had those kind of insurance increases. I don't think we've had any of those things, so.
I don't know how long the insurance hikes like we've seen are lasting, but we do realize why we have this one. Because we had 3 extremely expensive whatever you want to call them.
Claims.
Claims. And I guess we're still, I know insurance is going up, but I think it's just escalated for us.
Well, if you think about it, during COVID years, we did 0 increase, and then like a 2% increase, and then the 2 years we got the lowest increase, about 4.2, 4.5. And they're saying we still are one of the lowest increases. And that's just because everything's becoming more expensive. It goes right along with inflation, the cost of medical supplies, shows up, and the doctors are increasing their costs of their time. It's just, that's the economy right now. And that's why I'm saying you have to look at the big picture of this, and maybe you do have to raise the taxes a little bit, touch your budget some, and use some of your savings. That's what's best for the constituents. If you want to raise your road and bridge to make it more efficient and work better on yourself, probably something we should consider doing. Either way around it, but we could road and bridge, general number both, you're taxing the same people.
I think it's more, road and bridge is more of a sellable product because, I mean, we're being YouTube, but all we hear every day is that our roads need to be improved. Well, that takes money,
It takes labor.
labor.
And it takes very high priced equipment to do it as well. If you think of some, and I don't know if I can get myself involved in this conversation or not, but when we think about what is road and bridge income every year. I know that in looking in the budget, this county spends over $1 million just on roads.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I think asking our county employees to not be compensated for that because we need to spend more on roads sounds a little bit ludicrous to me. When we can do things with road and bridge fees and things of that nature that are designed to accommodate those kinds of improvements or maintenance, or however you want to say that. But I know that in sitting here in Commissioner's Court and even looking at the folks that I have up here, this county leans extremely hard on all its employees, whether it's at the sheriff's office or the clerk's office or wherever they're at. So I think one of the things that would be beneficial to all of us as elected officials in this side is to at least look at our county employees, because
Well, that's why we came with 4% pay increase. Yeah, I wish we could do more.
I like what Robert said.
Yeah.
$1. Because when we look at them historically, there again, they've not been compensated for the amount that insurance goes up, all of those kinds of things. I mean, no, gentlemen, the employees are what run this county.
I agree.
Employees, we want to those guys that work for you, those that work for Sonya, those who work for someone, those who work for me. And us being able to attract, I've told you that we can't. We're on week number 4. We how much did? No. Wants to come be a dispatcher good. So I think that's one of the things that we should look at as elected officials in this cycle. That at least at some point in Mills County, we look at our employees.
Week number 6. Sorry. I'm not allowed.
Oh, you can.
I'm not allowed at that, it's just, when I started working county, Rockingham precinct 3, I went from January to May, almost June before we picked up another road again.
Yeah,
That's
ours,
about that.
No.
if you're getting selected,
I get it, Robert, absolutely get it, because we hire, I've been there for
Right.
2 years now, and it is not stopped. It's all the time looking for somebody,
Right.
because for one, the positions that we have out there are pretty complex positions,
Right.
and the money that we pay for them, people are not interested. And just like you, Robert, in Buckingham County Republicans, they have come in with CDL now, and the amount of money that it takes for that position, they're not interested. So at some point, we're gonna have to get a hold of that mayor. We are. And I think the only thing that we can do is bring that bell to our constituents, and I do that. And tell them that somewhere we're gonna have to start paying these people for what they do, to even attract people to come and do it. This is, it's complex, but somewhere we are gonna have to do.
Well, I'm still in favor of 4% across the board salary increase. So.
So we're
Commissioner Williams,
I'm roughly
agreements,
4% over budget, right? I mean, we're in deficit if you were to do the math, right?
834,000.
So what if every office did a 4% cut?
But 4% cut what, salary?
Well, across 4% across your line, your budget.
So you're calling 4% across the budget. Our budget, you want to take 4% off our budget.
Right. I mean, but each elected official goes through their budget and see where they can save 4%.
Well, I've got some savings in mind when we get to it, but I don't think some departments can do that. I think they're pretty well at the bottom of what they can cut.
I can tell you that as far as the sheriff's office is concerned, that we proposed one of the most conservative budgets we proposed outside of the vehicles. And if you want to keep taking vehicles out of that, you can do that for a little while. But I can tell you that I've had 3 that are less than 100,000. That's it. Other than that, our budget is the same as it was last year, very conservative.
Well, let me go let's make some progress on some cuts, starting in my department on page 2, which is judge's office. So I've been visiting with Mr. David Shaw, and regarding one cut, so I was talking to him about the radios. $30,000 is what's proposed, and I said, don't think we can hardly do it this year. And he said, well, we can sure wait and do it next year. So I was gonna propose a $30,000 cut in the EMC technology / equipment this county.
I also have a question on your.
Yes, let me tell you one more here before I go any further. And also on the same deal, the EMC building improvements and maintenance. We visited about that a month or so ago, and it was decided pretty well not to do anything on the EMC building this year. So that'll be a $3,500 savings there. And go ahead, Commissioner Head.
Well, the EMC budget $7,200 this year on fuel, he spent $5,234, then you budget your estimated budget next year, $2,800.
Let me find
Well,
that.
I'm missing that.
709.
709.
Oh, I think, some of that was some budget amendments for this year where we moved money around. I don't think it originally started out that high. Did he have some vehicle repairs?
Right, well, I mean, I was,
So I think he thinks he can live within the 2,800.
okay,
We just moved money to that line to get that pickup fixed.
I didn't know if that was me or something.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, it says fuel and all, were we that high on fuel and all?
He said we did a budget amendment to move money to that line to do a repair on the beach. And I
Oh.
think that's just what I was asked to do.
Okay.
Because remember the transmission or something went out in that vehicle and it was a rather large repair bill.
okay, also,
On the radio,
yeah,
Instead of cutting the entire thing out, can we nip at the radios?
yeah, sure, I'm
Instead
gonna
of,
dip the blood a little bit.
well, like, instead of doing $30,000, buy a whole wad, if we cut it down a little bit.
Sure.
Spread it out over a few years, just fine.
Yeah, we can do what we want to, those radios, these are about 5,000, is that what correct figure, 6,000 each, yeah, they're going up. Maybe even higher than that, sheriff radio,
I mean, the radios that we use in our equipment ain't up $270.
no, these are $5,000 each, these radios we're talking about.
And actually, that's a very conservative.
Yeah,
number.
up to 10.
And what was these radios for then?
We'll just upgrade everybody's radio system to communicate with law enforcement.
The ones that we use, we make it law enforcement unless it's 250.
Well, when we think about radios, here we go again on that interoperability thing, right? So what Texas is trying to do under SWIG and under interoperability, and one of the things that we need to consider in that movement forward with radios. When we think of radios, we actually have two different types. You have the ones that we can communicate here in Mills County, we can do those kind of things, or the ones that are appropriate radios, the other ones that the state is trying to push towards, or also the operational plan of the state is interoperability. The radios, the lesser expensive radios are not going to fall into that category of interoperability capability. So you have two different price ranges of radios. You are exactly right. You can appropriate those that cost much less, and you can talk from maintainer to maintainer in your precinct and things of that nature. However, should we have that circumstance, like we almost did several weekends ago, where we had one precinct south of the county that's got 8 foot of water over the road. And then you need an interoperability circumstance. We guess whatever happens for the whole county flood or the whole state floods, like they had in New Valley, you need that interoperability capability. So when you're thinking of radios, you are absolutely correct. You have those that you can appropriate that will not function in the interoperability range. And then you have those that do. So when you're thinking about radios, that's kind of what that looks like.
So this $30,000 for radios, I mean, is that just for like, our pickups and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, it's an upgrade for everybody.
Well, I don't know whose vehicle it went in. I don't know if that was ever set down and said that.
Well, you're throwing stuff at the wall, because Brittany told me the other day, not knocking her, but the handheld one that they have through the EMC. She said does not work in the same places. It's cheap ones do not work. You still have your dead spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the amount of money you're spending on radios is not gonna correct the dead spots.
Anyway, that's Robert, that's answer the question. I think, so, okay, we're dropping the 30 off the deal on that. So 30,000 off on EMC technology / equipment, 3,500 on EMC building maintenance improvement. Then, if you'll turn over to page 8, courthouse maintenance, I've been visiting with Guy Burns on this. So we budgeted 40,000, this is for heating and cooling, and he thinks we can safely go to 35,000. So instead of $40,000 for repairs and maintenance on AC, this is under courthouse and maintenance. We feel like we can do 35,000. Treasurer Campbell on that. flight savings. Okay. Next page is page 12, non-departmental expense. Get down to that. The eight is, fund number 0347, the 1888 jail restoration project, instead of 25,000. We're getting closer to rounding that up. We felt like 20,000 would cover the last phase of that project.
Which one?
Okay, that's the 1888 jail restoration project, had been budgeted at 25,000,
47.
now to 20,000.
And I would say, let's go ahead and cut that 10,500, 349 to 30.
I'm sorry, Ms. Campbell, I didn't hear you.
10,500, 349 technology, it's sitting at 60, I say we cut it to 30.
And I still didn't hear what number you said.
30.
For technology is what, 60 and cut it to what, 30,000?
Right.
Okay,
That would be 20 for our website and 10 for evenings and videos.
okay. All right,
I have a question on the miscellaneous and contingency. So,
Or if you're in a deficit,
yeah,
those are the two places that. I'm not sure what the 7512 is, I'm gonna have to, I know this. But if you do not have excess funds, you don't budget a contingency unless everybody agrees that you need something just in case. That would just increase your deficit.
so it should be 0.
So you could choose to have some in there, but it'll just add to this.
Okay, and, one other request, I want to do is raise the Gold Lake VFD from 20 to 25,000. I've had numerous calls from them and they feel slighted, from our group meeting. And I request that go from 20,000 to 25,000.
When did we say? I mean, we addressed that this year, maybe from the start, that we were gonna fund fuel and insurance completely.
Mhm.
We're trying to help them out. We're not trying to fund them. Anyway,
Well, it's not funding them completely. I think their insurance is what, 21,000 or 22,000.
3,500 for fuel.
That's
and the other
funding them
one's
completely,
25.
yeah.
Yeah, they requested 26.5. They said they'd be happy at 25.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just think we got to back off on that. We're trying to help the volunteer fire department. If we did what I proposed the other day, it'd be around 30,000, and that's paying about half of each one of them's insurance.
So you're wanting to deduct the Star, Pretty, and Mullen and Gold Lake?
No,
No, that's what Dale's saying.
Yeah.
Dale's
well,
saying,
no, he wanted $5,000 for your month.
yeah,
well, we did,
And
Which-
16,000.
Which is a, which is a 10, they'll talk about number 5 for them, which is an increase of what we've done.
We've been giving them better.
So,
No, we just give them time.
And I just don't
There
think
you go.
that right now with this type of deficit, that you can nearly fund these volunteer fire departments completely. When you're still looking at the county itself struggling to make ends meet. I mean, you gotta take care of the county stuff first. Entities within the county.
so,
That's our job first and foremost, and then you help the other entities.
so 5, 5, and 5, the Storm on Pretty and Lee Gold Lake.
Five, 3,000 for each and $12,000 more.
Say that again?
should be 5,000.
3,000 for each entity, that'd be 5, 5, 5, and I guess 16,5.
Under that
yes,
side,
yeah. I had to think there too.
will it be 5, 5, and 5?
And then 16.5.
I mean,
I think we need to go like 20. 5, 5, 5, and 20.
I don't agree, won't agree with that. I mean, the little fire departments have been sitting there, they were at 1,500 for years, and we finally made them to 2,000. They're still paying in the neighborhood of $10,000 for their vehicle insurance.
Okay. Comments down there, guys?
So, Summer, I've got one question, follow up on this. So they request, the Goldthwaite Volunteer Fire Departments request their funds. They're 13.5, right? And so it goes into their account. Correct?
Are you speaking of the process?
Yeah,
On
the-
the budget side or dispersing? the
Just
funds?
dispersing the funds.
Yes, they usually, everybody sends me a letter or an email requesting their funds, that once the budget is set, they'll send me a letter with that amount, and then I have to submit it in payables and pay it out.
Okay. And then how does their fuel work on that? Because they have a fuel credit card.
So every month we get a fuel bill and we break it out per department and we code it into that line.
So they're getting more than 13.5.
It typically doesn't go over that.
Well, if they're taking their 13.5 out in a request. And then we're still getting a credit card, that's what I'm trying to,
You'll have to, like, last year they didn't do that, so I think there was a number they requested and then the rest was left. for fuel. I don't remember what those numbers were, I'd have to go pull two more in my budget book, so if you want me to do that, I'll go down and do it.
I was just trying to figure out how they were doing that, because this year they requested their whole 13.5 and they're still using their credit
They
card.
have requested their mileage.
Okay. Y'all see what I'm asking?
So I think that was all this, dinner request this month, the rest of it.
Why could they not be given their total amount and they
And then they
furnish their
take
own
it.
fuel?
Yeah,
They don't.
because they said they were getting 3,000 to 3,500 on fuel.
So,
So is that on top of, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
okay, now I know. They would bring me their insurance letter and they would tell me how much they wanted me to pay off that insurance, so I guess on 7/31/2026, they asked to pay $7,000, which maybe is what we agreed on last year, and the rest of it is. So $7,000 they asked for fund their insurance, and then the rest they do have to pay for fuel. So that's part of the agreement, how much we're gonna pay on the insurance and then how much you're gonna leave in that account for fuel.
Why do we even have an account for them? I don't understand that.
I'm sorry, what?
Fuel, is that what you're asking?
Why is it even coming through the county?
That's what's long before I get to office.
But if they're requesting their funds, let them deal with their own dispersal of those funds. No county, no fuel card, they've got their fuel money. If they need fuel card, it'll be
Okay, that's
within.
how you do it. That's fine, I just said that, no. I'm just saying when previously, and I know with Ed, we would sit down and discuss how much is going to insurance, how much is going to be left in fuel, and that's how it was distributed.
Look like maybe it's simple as it coming for us.
Whatever their funds are.
Yeah, I think it's-
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Pay for the insurance, pay the fuel, just like everybody else does.
I would have to let everybody cancel all those cards.
Fine.
I think that's a discussion.
I guess what the difference is, to see like for us, at the start, when we need fuel, we swing by heads, we just charge it. We have a charge account there. So whoever drives the truck, swings by heads, puts fuel in it, goes back to the yard. And then once a month, South Carolina comes by and pays the bill.
Pays the bill.
And they probably can't really, because I know I've seen them fill up a quick check, stuff like that, so I guess around here, you really can do it.
That's what.
Mostly
They
cars,
can
I
get a
guess.
fuel card
And so that's why they use them.
I got
on their own.
I've got a fuel card myself, so yeah. But that's all I was trying to figure out is where that if it was more than that, because they were saying, when they made their presentation, I got it that they were their allotment plus their fuel was on top of that, because they had a fuel card and they know
Yeah.
they don't turn any receipts or nothing. They don't have anything,
I
so,
think that's a miscommunication.
okay.
Change over in chiefs and the process is that when we sat down and budget meetings previously, I didn't see that on this one, so I don't know how to went. This amount is for insurance and then the rest would be left on for fuel.
I still think Goldway needs 20 with all the extra work they do on the roads and the road service and everything. And Sheriff, you want to talk, you're standing up,
I do.
you might speak to the microphone so everybody can see the world.
And I'll be glad to, I know that we're on YouTube, and when we talk, the difference on money, $5,000 is not anything. When we look at what those fire departments do, when you look at what Gulfway does, there's not a truck down there that the county has any money involved in whatsoever. They do all that work themselves. They look for grants, they fundraisers, all that kind of stuff, the barn, the building, everything down there. They've done that themselves. The only thing that they asked for is fuel and insurance for the amount of work that they put in. And I know, guys, I know that y'all see that. I know that you do when we have those fires, y'all are there with your road graders and your bulldozers and all that kind of stuff. But also the other extensive amount of work that they put in is responding to those automobile accidents, traffic control. Every time the helicopter moves, they're up there for that. 5,000 is nothing, especially for the Gulfway Volunteer Fire Department. It's not. When you look at what they do down there and just covering insurance and fuel, that's extremely reasonable for the county, extremely reasonable for the constituents.
So let me play the devil's advocate here, Sheriff.
Okay, I'm glad that.
Shouldn't we do that for all volunteer fire departments? If they're saying insurance and fuel?
I'm not opposed to that, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I am not.
I mean,
But
I don't know
we're
how.
looking at an $800,000 deficit.
I understand that. I absolutely do. And I understand that every one of us are standing here looking for a place to go. I'm just telling you that the 5 that Goldway is asking for, and if other fire departments want to come in and protest what is being allotted for them, I encourage them to do that. I'm not opposed to any of those fire departments. I'm telling you what they do and the amount of money that they get, what they have.
I don't think.
Goldway's asking for more. They're asking for 12.
That's
So-
what I heard the judge, I was in here the other day when they set that at 20, they asked for 25, I'm telling them $5,000.
Oh, you're saying from 20 to 25. I understand that.
That's not anything.
But they're getting 13.5 now. That's all they get right now is 13. So we've already upped it to 20.
And
And
for
they're
the county,
wanting-
for each
yeah.
one of you to stand behind them, I think all of your constituents would say, we appreciate what you do. That's the only thing that I'm saying. Those fire departments are monumental to the constituency of this county and to the law enforcement center. We use them every single time that we get out. And I take you back to what I said in the original, when they were all standing in here, when we had 2 crashes, we had both exits and entrances to this county to the north side block. Who was there directing traffic? Volunteer firemen that have jobs and do everything. They were out there helping the county. It's 5 is nothing.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Now, I understand we do have a deficit, and I think it is important to try to take care of these fire departments, which we have, I think, scoring on and we're very happy with 10. Again, Goldway feels somewhat slighted, and they feel like they do more road work and cover the entire county in these things. So, but if it's gonna be a deal, we gotta get this thing passed. Be 520, but I would ask for 25 to go.
Well, are we cutting the others or not? If we're cutting the others, I don't feel that we can do the
Yeah,
extra
I don't-
5.
Yeah,
If we're leaving them all the same, then we leave them all the same, so.
well, I just do not have to cut the others. I think we can keep finding some cuts around the other places on this budget. Try to get our numbers better, Commissioner Portman.
I think you got lots of cutting to do.
$760,000.
Yes. Again, like I said, earlier, 6 employees would cover about 400,000 right there. So. But let's decide on this, what's it gonna be on go, again, we gotta get on board passes.
That's just have it for, then we'll go on to the rest of the budget, and see what.
Say again.
That's silent right now. We'll
Okay.
let the budget, see what it looks like.
Okay, okay.
But I mean, I do think that the county offices are. Need to be kind of priority though too.
Okay. Where do you want to start next?
So are we in agreement that we're cutting all cities in?
I'm not, but
I am.
I don't think with that type of deficit that we can keep them.
I don't see we can do so.
I couldn't hear you.
I don't think with that type of deficit that we can increase employment.
Okay.
I don't see six.
Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, I can't see that with the $700,000 deficit.
Yeah.
Six more employees.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
In a year or two,
We've got to
maybe?
make,
So that's-
Yeah,
our deficit has got to come down.
yes. Okay,
6 times 66.
I would average like 65.
yeah, yeah.
so that's near about 390,000 or so.
$390.
Yeah.
So if we're taking that extra road hand out, go to Fund 14,
Hold on just a second, let me make sure I get this saved.
25 under Q. So take that equipment from 150,000 to 50. I mean, take 50 off, making it a total of 100K. And then under, let me make sure that the right line here.
Minus 50 on
Yeah,
equipment.
minus 50 on equipment.
Okay, got that.
And then school and trainings, take that back down to 2,000.
See if you have bucks.
If I needed it, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a savings of 55,000.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Sheriff. Patrol cars, we got 2 scheduled. Anyway, you can get by with 1, possibly. I think we did that last year, we shorted you.
So I just ran the numbers on what 4% would be on my budget, which is usually right around 3.1 million, that's 120,000. You take one of the vehicles off and that would cover my 4%. There's a couple places also that we can look in there. We had budgeted about 100,000 for maintenance on the jail. We know that we put that in there just in case catastrophic event or something of that nature. We also can visit that. However, the only thing that we would be up against there is off a couple air conditioners or something of that nature.
I've talked to Guy Burns about all your activities there, and, Sheriff, we didn't want to take a chance, your jail expenses were 100,000, building maintenance 100,000.
Yes,
And I visited Guy a good bit, and I don't really want to take a chance, cause you got no
Well,
chance.
that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna leave that up to y'all if you.
Well, I did have equipment, I did talk about equipment and fixtures, and he's talking about all those LED lights and stuff that are expensive and replacing all those too.
Yes, sir.
I just do not have to touch that right now. One thing I did ask on technology though, we got 75,000 and we're gonna pay for some of this camera data out of that fund, correct?
Actually, that's gonna come from a couple of different places when we look at that. Some of it's gonna come out of what's left over in that building maintenance fund as well. That's probably.
In this fiscal year, not the one we're working
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
We're not gonna carry that over this point.
Yes, that's exactly what we're planning, so.
So I'm confused as what we're investing in the sheriff's department.
So I think equipment line item 314,
450 or 470.
314 equipment. Talking about that.
And 35, huh?
35, 450, 35.
35, 30. I'm on the sheriff's department
There's
side.
35, 455, one sheriff, one jail, which one?
I'm on the sheriff's department. That's
Sheriff
what I'm,
office expense,
the 35,
What page?
30.
page 31.
page 31.
It's fund 35, but there's two sub funds in the expenses. There's 35, 450, and there's 35, 475. 35, 450 is sheriff's office, 35, 475 is jail.
Let's talk about the sheriff's office
Yeah.
first, because that's where the vehicle's at.
Thank you.
And you'll see some of it, we have 230 on that line. You can cut that one in half. Make it 150.
115.
Yes, sir.
Did you order a vehicle for this year?
Yeah, it just ain't got it.
A year.
Yes,
Okay.
it's paid. The money is there for that. We are appropriating the fund.
Huh?
I just didn't look about the spent, I'm like,
I just broke mine, and it came in.
it's fixed for again.
We're still hoping that we'll get it this year.
Okay.
We'll pay for it this year, whether we get it this year or not, maybe next.
So Sheriff, thank you. So equipment from 230 to 115, Ms. Campbell. On,
Got it.
and then technology, we're talking about that earlier. What all are we gonna use that for? Educate me, what all is that technology for?
So
Cindy?
some of those funds were to update the equipment that's in the conference room. That is another one of those items is end of life thing. That thing is functioning at this point. So we could cut that in half from 75 to 35 or something of that nature.
Or
And
the 50.
get
50
by,
is what you had this year.
see if we can get by another year. I'm not opposed to that.
We used to love it. On our
Yeah, you got budget, it shows you spent 48 right now.
Yeah, as of today, your balance that you have spent is $47,976.
So you,
You still have maybe 2 months to go.
Well-
so you might,
Maybe 60,000 instead of 75. And that's pretty relatively constant figure every year, I guess, Chris.
I would first,
Yeah,
We had increases on
like everything's going up.
yeah.
you got,
Well-
you're gonna spend almost 51,000.
Well, why don't you just make it 70 and we'll cut it by 5,000?
Yeah.
How's that?
That sounds good. 70,000.
That gets us to the 4%.
Okay. Okay, Sheriff, we'll put the page, jail expenses, those things go up every year, meals, et cetera, we gotta feed the inmates. And we talked about the equipment and fixtures earlier in building maintenance. I don't know that there's anything we can cut in that. I think we're pretty on very minimum on that.
I would.
I'll
Yeah.
reflect on what I said earlier. We submitted a very conservative budget. We submitted it originally to get by with the mayor. But on the jail side, one of the things that, one of the reasons that I'm a little reluctant there as well is like I told you, the initiative is going to be to increase the income of that facility.
You're doing a good
So
job.
we'll, yes, and we'll work very hard to do that. I think we can do that without any trouble whatsoever. We've already started moving forward on that, so if we start taking anything out of that, I think we'll compromise ourselves.
Okay.
Is that something that just got left by the wayside? I mean, the jail should be functioning at as close to capacity as it can at all times.
I think that that was one of the things that was talked about in the building of that, and I think that it happened that way the first couple of years that it was there. I can't speak for the prior administrations, Bill. I can tell you that while I'm there and while I'm doing that, I'll run that thing to be as proficient as I can possibly make. That
Another,
means keeping it at 26, then that is our goal.
another thing, how, inmate medical expense, how have we done that for a year on $107?
Indigent,
You have
no
clue. Yeah, it's, yeah.
that's a,
You know, you just pay the law.
you talk about a bear, that thing is a bear. That thing is, that's a battle I control. Think about it. jail standards governs how we handle that, and it is ridiculous.
Because a 107 covers like minor expenses, like maybe some phone, or maybe some vendors, things like that, not going to the doctor or the dental office and hospital.
Oh, we got $4,000 in there and there was 1,500 amended budget last year. Looks like one year it was 1,986 and 23, 1,081 and 24. And then in 25, $107.
One of the things that I do hope that we can accomplish this year is get somewhere a program that prints in a font other than 3.
Sure,
I'm
thank you.
doing the best I can.
Sure, thank
Do
you.
what?
If it's good with you commissioners, we'll go to Fund 15. Page 28. Under R, under my tab. And Robert, if it's good, y'all, we can take that whole, we can not buy any equipment under Fund 15, so we can take that whole 60 out.
Not right now.
I say yes, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, it's going.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see the. After
Page 28.
So.
And
It's a road bridge.
page 28, it's equipment on road and bridge, Fund 15. I don't know where it's at, we're skipping all over the place.
Yeah, 60,000. So I mean, it's kind of, you know, when you kind of bouncing around the idea about shield cover and whatnot. We're gonna keep her, we're gonna continue with the FEMA line for next year, right?
They're built in there.
Yeah,
Well, I got 150 on road material. You know, we'll take 50 off for right now.
wait, so you're going to your precinct?
Yeah.
What page?
I
are
still
on?
like, I still like to figure out how big concrete project.
It's gonna be under O, I think,
Well, what page are you in, Robert?
O 19,
19?
Fund 12. And you said under materials?
Yeah, we'll knock that down, aren't we? We're still gonna, we're gonna do the thing anyway.
So you're gonna take it to what?
Take 650, take 50 out, sorry.
Take 50 out.
That'll be a start.
What fund again was it number?
It's, road material 324.
But Fund 12,
Okay, fund 12. What about y'all's bushwhacking and everything?
no, that's,
I'd
under-
like to hang on to that until the last.
Yeah, okay.
If,
Last. Yeah.
if we have to, I guess.
I don't read it, man.
But, that's at 4%, unless I did my math wrong, that would be 28 million, that's 50 right there. If we cut 4% out of our budgets, that should
Yeah.
be about 28,000 for me to cut, and I did 50, so that's,
well, that was the same way with me. I did more than that too, so.
so.
I think those numbers are different because the only way the 4% would cover it is if you cut 4% out of the salary.
No,
Right?
no,
No,
Find 4% out of your total budget.
4% out of your total budget.
Which includes the salary.
If you disagree with the 4% raise, that's the time you're gonna have to vote, but I think everybody else is saying, don't look at salaries, see if you can cut 4%.
From the
Right.
rest.
Expenses below. Correct, that's my understanding.
Yes.
If it's something different, then it needs to be restated where everybody understands what that means. That's how I understood it.
Okay. Yeah, because if you're giving a 4% raise and you're cutting 4%
Of other.
of
expenses,
everything.
That's my understanding. If it's different, it needs to be stated.
I'm just kind of going off the, not that, just. I mean, guys, the road, the the employees need to raise one way, I think the employees need to raise.
Sure.
Whether it's what I'd like them to have, or whether it's what.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too. We
So-
talked about that some,
if
it
we-
was not clear that 4% was the total budget or the 4% was the total expenditure budget minus
Right,
the employee salary.
but I mean, you know, if I take 50,000 out of my road material, I'm not leaving me 100,000 that. And my guys get a 4% raise, and it's, I guess it is what it is.
How much,
And just, we're talking about it like, those FEMA numbers will change as you expend money and all the way up till we vote on the budget. So you'll see those numbers change as you spend money and we get money in.
Well, I was just making sure that
It's still there.
I'm still wrong with it. I mean, that's what we're gonna be doing this year,
Yes.
still feeding.
That's,
uh,
it's still there.
do we have a cumulative rough
I
estimate?
can't do that until I can recalculate all the payroll.
That all is been
Pretty good,
pretty,
better.
So when you took the $60,000 out of equipment in Fund 15, that will increase your, portion that transfers to your budgets out of Road and Bridge from 213 up to something, it'll just be a little bit 60,000 divided by 4, whatever that number is. So you'll see those numbers change. And I'll put an email with all the things that I changed, and if there are any corrections after that. I'll put them on.
great.
Yeah.
I don't see. Keep it up, I'll get tired from you.
I've been 5 hours, but I'm just cutting myself for 8,000, cut my fuel down to 35.
Hang on.
Page here, let me scan it. Throwing numbers at her.
Fund 11. Okay, start over.
All right. 326,
Uh-huh.
go down to 8,000. 325, fuel and oil. 36,000.
30 what?
36,000.
36.
The fire department's place, if you go down, as whole page and look at the other public expenditures. And we're just talking about those.
What way you going?
That's page 12, non-departmental, she said.
Not reading.
Page 12.
Public service.
Yeah.
Under L. So did we change the fire department or no?
Last we heard, they were, wait, I'm still trying to get
Okay.
it, yeah. Time being.
Because in my math, we're about 722,000 in cuts.
There was an agreement on what we were gonna do there.
So conversation, so.
You could take the library back down, you could take the soil and water conservation back down. And then you could take the fire departments back down.
What page are y'all on? I got 12.
I'm on 13 there on that page. And then the non-departmental is the other ones you could take down, but you still looking about 100,000, they gotta shave.
So you said five
Well, the more you shave from these, the more you might be able to give other entities from the fire departments, if you want to go that way.
need very specific directions with numbers. please.
And then
And
you still
one
got
thing,
the stipend, you still got the stipends that we did to the clerk's office. You got the. I don't know what other stipends that we added. We added those stipends. What else did we add?
No other stipends.
Huh?
There were no other stipends.
No other stipends. It's just,
Maybe.
except for FEMA stipend. So that was the only other stipend. But it has never been discussed. So,
County attorney.
oh, yeah,
That might be
that's what it
raising
is.
the flag. That is
That's
never
what it
got
is. That's what it was.
And is that understood that if the county attorney's assistant is being funded out of SB 22, and if at some point SB 22 was to dissipate, he no longer has that position?
we would have to come with the funds payer.
No, it would just go away.
You talking about, oh, you talking about the, what to do on salary or what?
Yeah.
Well, we got to pay her something, that's it, but you would have SB 22 money,
Another position would go away.
well, he's got to have an assistant. You have to come up with some funds for that.
What was that position making before the Senate Bill 22?
There wasn't a position.
What was that?
No, Daryl used his own
Okay.
assistant.
Okay.
There was, Tommy Adams had an assistant, so the county has paid for an assistant one time or another.
Yeah,
Gerald-
Becky Denora.
Yeah, but before, he asked before, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying, the county did lots of years ago, I remember Tommy Adams.
But if we're gonna go that route, the road hands used to have 6 or 7.
Yeah,
SB
So-
22 is not gonna go. That initiative was. That thing was so high up there. The governor not going to stop.
I don't see.
It all won't always be the same governor.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
So to sit there and say it's not going away, we have no proof of
In
that.
other words, when you think of how the.
It may be an unfunded mandate.
I guess.
Well, if it were to go away. That at the time.
Yeah.
If that's going to go away, we should be able to negotiate salary if you want to do. When they have a part-time, or full-time, I think the way it goes, that we negotiate that however you. Yeah.
Quilting one.
So,
Oh,
on this non-department, are we? I'm gonna force y'all to give me numbers, I guess.
And which one would you like us to
I
consider?
might start at the top of the page. and let's
Okay.
look at them. Put that, or if you want to start at the bottom and go up, we can do that.
We've already discussed the jail rental.
Yeah, jail came down to 20,000.
Okay, I'm not talking about the jail. I'm talking about non-department.
Yeah, he was talking about the 1888 jail.
1888 jail.
I'm
So I'm
sorry.
talking about,
it is on ours.
It is on ours.
I'm sorry, public expenditures. We moved it.
Public expenditures.
okay,
Next
Okay.
section.
Have you met with the museum or the library?
But what else they
Have you
get,
met with the museum or the library?
yes, they've all had some expenses go up. I've met with every one of them, museum, library. I don't think we need to be cutting all the, public service people. They had some increases, but it wasn't that much. I mean, then we're gonna get down the predator deal. I think we leave that the same as it is, 30,000 on the predator control.
I have
The
it.
museum went,
Yeah, but what now,
I
30?
have it at 30.
yeah.
Yes, 30.
It's the same.
Yes, it's stayed the same last good many years, the predator control.
The library went up. The museum went up.
John Welker pulled it out.
Yep, we sure did, didn't we?
Yeah, that's good.
Soil and water conservation went up.
Yeah, 2,500. I don't see anything, we need to cut the public service expenditures outside of the. We're still debating about the fire department. What to do.
I don't know. I don't know, we appreciate where we get some.
Well, that's what Ed always told me, what are we getting? Whether it's 5 or 10, that's kind of the question on those. And it seemed like it's whether go like 20 or 25. So,
Or 16.5 is what Dale said. So. Or 17, whatever it was. 3,000, wasn't it, is what you said, 3,000, so.
I think the more that we can get cut out of other places, the more you can have, but for the small ones to go from 2 to 5 is a pretty dramatic increase for them. And I think it too, if you want to cover the small ones, they've been kind of on the hind wheel for a bunch of years.
We do get called out for roofs, we do get called out for fires, and we do get called out to helicopter landings. We do get called out into the other counties to help.
but also what Hamilton County pays y'all what, 7,500 a year, 5,000?
But if you look, and I didn't realize that, I drove that road the other day, drove it a million times. The Hamilton County line, it's not probably 150 yards from the Star Fire Department.
Yeah, it's very close.
It's pretty close.
Matter of fact, last week, I think started called out 4 times.
They work hard, yeah.
So I mean, and we do roads, we do traffic control.
They got called out for
That's
one in
small
Comanche
work.
too.
Been out there and seen it.
Well, I'm good with the Mullen, Pretty and Star going to 5, if everybody else is good with that. I think Goldthwaite's the only one that's still holding out there.
What do y'all think down there, guys?
I don't think 25.
Okay, 20 for Goldwood, leave it at 20. I'll leave it at 20, then. Okay. Goldwood at 20 and Stormont and Pretty at 5,000. I don't think we can go any lower than that. Help them out every way we can, but we do have a deficit.
We let, you know, I mean, yeah,
Even if we went down to 7,500.
It's 15.
I think the 3 little ones are gonna be appreciated. Yeah, they're gonna take every one thing you get.
Yeah,
But every one of them has money in the bank,
yeah.
maybe with the exception of Mullen. And Mullen's just starting out,
And I'll,
kind of, so.
if we agree these numbers, 5, 5, 5, and 20, and I'll call everybody and explain the situation. It's not that we don't love them, we gotta try to make some cuts here. So I'll explain the situation. So
So are we gonna cut any of those others?
I don't think we
That
need
added.
to.
What was the
Then one of
end?
them was a museum that fell under the Goldthwait insurance. And we
There's
raised,
not much on the museum. What they pay in the museum is their board of directors insurance. So I can pull this up and tell you what it is. Uh. I look for it. And Hartwell is in charge of everything. Their office supplies went up slightly. Insurance and bonds, they pay, they're showing me $2,268. They have a little travel increase. They have an increase in repairs and maintenance slightly. They increased the salary for Sylvia, who's there all the time, from $5,800 to $6,700. So it wasn't that much of an increase, and you're correct, Commissioner, the Goldthwait city manager, not manager, but city of Goldthwait paid for all their stuff since they own the building now. As far as the insurance is with their group insurance. Okay,
At 23, we were at 5,000, 24, we were at 7,000, 25, we were at 10,000.
Now they
Now they
want
want
15.
15.
And what was the increase on the library?
library.
About 2,000.
Yeah, about, it wasn't much, I talked to Susan Lindsay several times, oh, they have grant funding, matching funds, City of Goldthwait pays maintenance, rents and building insurance, pest control. They've had a few increases. Just, utilities, et cetera, some things like that, whatever it was. So I sure think we need to leave those, all those other ones the same. Include the Breeder Fund. So we're good on the volunteer fire department's 5,000, so Stormwell and Pretty, and 20 to Goldthwait. That good?
So
All right. All right. Any other things y'all see or?
yeah, I got mine. We
Commissioner Porter?
skipping around if we find it.
It's all yours. Yours is on page 22, I believe.
Under P.
Page 22.
Yeah, I know.
Did you make a mistake there?
No, it's mine. It's a $350,000 maintain.
That maintainer.
Let's see. The only place I really feel like I can cut anything is our road material. And as I stated from the start, that was to try to do some concrete stuff that FEMA is not going to approve, but, we've got 2 bridges in progress in the boxcar this year, so I would like to try to do at least one, if we can do one for 100,000, so take 100,000 out of that.
I didn't catch that. What was it?
And we had 200,000 for road material, still had the smallest budget of the 4, but take 100,000 out of it, we'll make do.
I would say that might be cutting a little thin.
Well, probably is.
How about just cut 50?
That's fine, we're just trying to make up the deficit, but
So
You're still short, so.
just got an email back from Charles and he said, yes, 1 cent would increase taxes by about 90,000.
any 1 cent,
Yes.
okay. So,
Why don't we,
but
make
if you wanna make it,
Jed,
that's fine.
I got some, I got a comment to make here. I mean, Dell trying to go down to 100,000, you go.
I'm trying to say, go up.
And you're trying to tell them to go up. I went down to 100,000, you said, thank you.
Yeah, I did the same thing. He said, thank you. Sheriff's Department, thank you. What's the deal?
Bill, how about 50,000?
That's fine.
All right,
We're just
right.
trying to make up the deficit,
All right.
but I will say every year, and everybody's been very helpful this year, but every year that I've been here, it is nearly came back to the commissioners to make the cuts.
We did it this year.
Which stagnates your precincts in getting anything other accomplished, so.
So we're changing it to 150.
I guess
Yeah.
150, if we can do some concrete, we'd love to. And I will say, in the long run, the county is gonna get in excess of $2 million worth of bridges. Of county money.
Hey, you're pushing stepping up in the world.
Yeah, next step is we still do have, I counted them the other day, we have 8 of the 16 government downs in precinct 30.
Whoa,
Who knows where that's.
Yeah, on building improvement expenses for the courthouse, do we have $125,000 worth of projects?
I talked to a guy about that extension. I talked to him 2 or 3 times. He feels like we need to do that. So the next project we're gonna do is this west side over here. Now, we might could cut a little bit there. There might be a little there. And as you know, the state historical commission requires us to do a certain percent every year.
Percent of what?
Of our total budget or whatever the figure is back into, maintenance and building improvements for your courthouse.
How much is that?
I'm not sure the exact figure. I'll get that information to you.
You may not be fine right now.
Well, he said it varies, and what we're gonna do is this west side is the next big project, and also look at the steps.
Well, that's gonna be a lot of money. You're gonna have to do an RFP on those things.
Well, which we did on this, south side, but it should be a little less, hopefully, because it's not as big a volume on this west side. On that, we'll just see what the funds look like.
What do you stand, what's the rough estimate?
Um,
800,000, I think, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, do you want to recess and give me 30 minutes to go do payroll? Maybe I can do 30 minutes to come back.
Whatever everybody wants to do.
We roughly need about 50,000 more,
Well,
give or take.
Or we can let summer person number.
And I'll also have to recalculate on the transfers. It's
Yeah.
gonna be 30 minutes to now.
Y'all wanna take a recess and, get back? Yeah,
Whatever y'all want to do.
how about we?
I'd say it would be accurate in this. We'll take a.
Reconvene at 10:30.
Let's reconvene it. That's not gonna give enough time. Is it 30 minutes? How about 10:45?
11.
Okay, how
How about
about,
11 o'clock?
how about, 11? Okay. We're gonna be talking about.
Hurry up, Gomer.
Best for me to do the
Hey,
numbers.
how about we reconvene with summer calls and so no one's ready?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're gonna make it official. So I'll make a motion. We recess until 11 a.m. in our budget workshop. Second by Commissioner, Ted, and, all those in favor recess until 11, say aye. Aye. All right, we're recessed till 11 a.m., Miss Annette. You want me to turn this off, Annette?
No, just pause it.
Okay, I would have paused it. Thank you. I can figure out how to do that. Let's see.
You hit the double line bar. Right there in the middle.
There. Okay. So Ned, I hope you can hear us. We will resume our workshop. The time is 11 a.m. And Ms. Campbell has been working hard getting numbers figured out. Ms. Campbell, what do you got?
So, I would preface this with saying, our revenues would have to come in just perfect. But, and if they did, we would still be in $11,652.76 deficit.
And we understand those are rough numbers. I know, rough numbers. We're getting closer. So, commissioners, any other departments, anything you want to talk about?
What about chairs?
Sheriff on,
Chairs,
Chairs.
chairs.
oh, chairs.
The chairs is under
Well, the
miscellaneous.
chairs, as I stated, we can sure wait another year. We need them, but we can sure wait what's another year for these 25-year-old chairs. So that's Ms. Campbell, that was 7,700, I want to say.
You got 7512.
Well, the numbers we get are unofficial, right?
No, the numbers.
They're certified. I'm not talking about the tax numbers, the other estimated revenue ones that are under those.
So yes, you can probably take those chairs out, which I'm glad you reminded me, I forgot about those. That's another nearly $8,000. That's what that was.
Summer, would you again remind me where we did the holiday pay and comp time, where we're gonna do that one-time payout?
It is,
I looked a while ago, but I didn't want to disturb you.
and that number sure might decrease. Let's look at, that number might change also. It's in non-departmental,
Okay,
it is 10,501.12, which would be the separate line of that budget.
Yeah, age on that or not?
Oh, I'm looking at my computer, so it doesn't.
page 12. And you said the numbers were again, what was the line?
12, so it should be second.
Okay. There it is. Yeah, and it says it plain as day, now that I see that, so,
Oh, it's new, so
yeah.
that may have been used. I don't know. The sheriff comes and sit down again and look at that.
What is it?
That second one, right here,
Oh, the relevant pay, leave.
yeah, that's what it is. That's what I was just asking her where it was at. I was not,
Your money is 26, it's the sheriff working. units.
correct.
Last year we put 14.
And Sheriff Jones, we have increased the revenue from boarding prisoners
Yes, sir.
to 150,000.
Yes, sir.
Last year it was 100. Is that what you were thinking, that realm, or were? Cause I think in the past, in one time, years and years ago, we had 200,000, so.
Well, that, we had,
Yeah.
250 or something like that, but it wasn't on a, wasn't
No.
attainable, right, now we're at 146,000.
Right, so 150 is obtainable, okay.
Summer, if we go over that for some reason or another, that doesn't cause any issues.
Mm,
I just want to make sure we don't- more money.
More gravy on the boat.
You don't wanna overestimate, and I think that's what got us in trouble. years ago, doing that 250 was, we never got that, but you based your budgets on that, and so it really messes up the budget. Yeah.
We're gonna work more.
Okay, what other departments?
We're about 4,200.
I guess the other thing that I got, and I voiced my opinion the other day, and Tanya's sitting back that there is the stipend pay on clerks, the, election stuff. You
Well, out of all the,
gain cuts on
all,
that, or?
all the offices that we cut, there was 5 of them that haven't cut out of every office, so.
Actually, I turned in the summer 2 cuts. I don't know if it was sorry. It happened. I'm sorry. I haven't. I'm reducing my schools and training. Class and then also reducing. And also, I wanted to ask, is our postage current? Have you funded our postage current? Maybe we could probably pay, so if you ask for 4%, I can get you 4% out of my budget. But I would like to leave aside.
You want to leave that?
Yes.
Do you think,
Office supplies, schools and training, and postage can all come down enough to get you 4% out of my budget.
What do you want me to put postage to? That one's always tricky.
I know, depending on how many jury summons we do and everything else, that's something I can't, but if that's.
You've already cut it from last year.
Yes, but there is a change in Research Texas, so we don't have to send out as many papers as we used to, it's electronically notified. So, I mean, you can. Tell me where I'm going. I'm sorry.
Worried about you kind of crazy.
I know. But office supplies, you already, because that's,
I guess I thought that, and I want that down. That's what we have 1,100 to cut. Let me go to mine.
okay, I was gonna say, put elections down to 53.
No. Not gonna do those budget meetings. And I can go to West schools and training.
You're gonna need more schools and training probably, but there's no way I'm doing it all.
you won't have that coming away?
I feel required to meet more hours than.
Schools.
Cut mine. I posted down to Dallas. My equipment to Dallas, because that's where I got mine. Anything goes as long as I have dinners, which is we have $640.76.
I get out of spots on mine, put mine down at the very top.
$640. I don't know, change this. There, we got $59.24.
Well,
There you go, plus.
Hate to beat a dead horse, but we still haven't talked about the auditor.
well, I'd say the dead horse, because that's an extra $100,000.
Well, I mean, the district judge said, you know, if we want to start looking at them, they'd be a part of the budget process next year, you got to put at least half of it in there.
Well, I'm not interested in getting an auditor. Point blank, I've said that every year. I don't think we need it. It's extra $100,000. And it's a lot of work, no doubt. But most of these small rural counties don't have an auditor.
Summer does an excellent
That
job.
number does an excellent job.
She always comes up with.
So, and I've visited, pardon?
Okay, Charles Thompson.
Yes, he's a big asset too.
But we're always going up with things for the clean audit, so I mean.
Our audits are excellent every year. Takes a lot of work on those audits by the treasurer's department. I mean, I just look at saving the taxpayers an extra $100,000 on this. And the average cost for an auditor, which I've checked, is $80,000. The average cost, then throwing all the benefits.
A lot of counties share auditors though, so
What now?
a lot of counties share auditors, so.
I don't know who would share it with, and Hamilton did that, and it didn't work out well. I talked to Judge Yates.
Well, you share it with whoever your district you're with, whoever the district judge is, that's the district you would share.
Want to share.
Whoever the district judge says, right?
Yeah, it's the district.
It's their call.
There is a process behind it where those individuals are interviewed, and if you want to make a recommendation for one, you can. You can take it under consideration. I know there was like Hamilton, Stephenville, and there's a smaller county that all share the same one.
That one ended up real bad.
I'm sorry.
That one ended up real bad. That was a guy from
Correct.
ICO that his stepson shot him numerous times. I don't know.
And he also was, falsifying books, but.
Do you remember that at all?
Well,
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I did not.
yeah,
In Stephenville.
Stephenville.
But that has nothing to do with us having.
Yeah.
It's just that,
I
Judge Smith has not approached me about that and asked me to sit down with him and talk about a separation of duties. So I don't know what that looks like, because then you have to do an RFP for that. And I think everybody does it differently. There are things that each treasurer and auditor agree to do and not do, so I think that conversation needs to take place.
Well, I just don't want to be caught off guard if he decides to do it, because then we have to fund it.
I've talked to Judge Smith several times, and he said, y'all did a good job. I haven't seen points. Last time I talked to him, if we had some problems, then I could see it, but we haven't had any problems as far as any bad things. And again, we got excellent treasurer. So I just don't see it unless all the other three want to get an auditor.
Well, an auditor, I guess, to Jason's point, I don't think an auditor.
I don't think they
just does financial stuff.
Kind of,
They would basically take over the budget process, which I'm guessing you're talking about. What else would you like an auditor to?
Well, I mean, that was the biggest thing is the budget process, was to streamline that budget process. I mean, we've all said we're busy, we've got so much going on. It would streamline that. It would also streamline some of the problems that we have throughout the year, whether it's how different, was it budgeted or was it not budgeted or whatever, it would go through that office. And Summer has got like 8 different shoes that she has to put on throughout a day. It would take some of that off of her. Now, granted, it might create another one, but it would take some off for the, couple years down the road. Yeah, it's not gonna be hard for the first couple of years. No, it's gonna be hard, but as an elected official, you'll be able to work through that and figure out how that works and get it done.
all right, anything else we need to discuss today?
Well, are we gonna talk about the road and bridge tax? Are we gonna talk
Well,
about
we need
the?
to, we're gonna do that Monday with Charles Miles, figure about the tax rate
Well,
and the budgets.
Best for you to get an idea of what he wants to present, so he's not caught off guard.
Yeah.
Give you accurate information like the revenue.
The road and bridge cut 41% of that deficit today.
Mhm.
41%. That's last year we cut 52%. I'm just feeling that the sheriff's department's right up there on a big cut too. Everybody stepped up, but 41%. We just keep getting hammered. And I've had 3 phone calls while we were here today, when are we gonna blade this road, or when are we gonna have this road? The school reached out, we've got 2 roads that are 508 and 408 that are gonna be bus routes. They're not finished, they're not open. I mean, they're open, but they're not redone.
Where's 408?
Down there past Maine where it washed out, going to where your hayfield is. 1 lane traffic. I'm just trying to say, I mean, we really need to do something. Either we put the road and bridge tax and bring it up, or the commissioners just keep cutting to get the county's budget. We didn't use anything from the savings.
Well, we don't have, again, we can't go up by so much anyway. No,
But
we
we're-
don't have revenue deals, so I mean, can't just bump it up.
I know, but I'm saying following the protocols of that. I'm not saying jump over that. But you can go over that if you just have to take it to the voters.
Well, the voters aren't gonna approve that.
Well, you have, I think it's 3.5%. You can go up 3.5%.
Which is
Without a
basically
vote.
3,
Without a vote.
3 cents.
And
Which is
it may
right.
be different
Yeah, it's roughly
because
3
you
cents.
have, it may be an accumulative of years. There's something about if you haven't done it for so many years, there's an accumulation number. And that's something Charles needs to bring,
Yeah.
what you want to know.
I will get that information to them. I agree. We'll give them some information.
I think what they're trying to say is we can't continue to operate as is, and then you get 2 or 3 more years down the road, you have older equipment.
Yeah.
Less people to do it with, and you're way behind.
I will give some Charles some instructions about raising possibly 1 cent, 2 cent on the road and bridge. Some scenarios. How about that?
I think if you're gonna raise it, possibly a one-time deal, they're not gonna be happy with any tax rate, so you might as well just get it out of the way. I mean, if you can go up 3 cents, you can show anybody these figures that we're taking $213,000 in road and bridge tax.
Yeah.
And we're spending $600,000. So I think if everybody, and they are, just like Jason said, it's a daily deal. Now, some of them are gonna say, we don't wanna pay anymore. Y'all aren't doing anything with the roads anyway. You're gonna hear that. Well, I can show them maps. We are improving the roads. I think every precinct is improving the roads. It takes money to do that. And I will agree with Jason. We have ever since I've been here. We sit here and we hammer ourselves every year to the point that we're just existing.
Sure, if you want to speak, come on up.
I do, I want to get in on the conversation, and I think that each one of us, the talking point has to be the inflationary rate that we've experienced, everybody, and I know the taxpayers have experienced that inflationary rate as well. And I think Dale's on the right point there, all of us, as far as that goes, that we've gone so many years without doing that, that now we're to the point where we're not going to be able to give our constituency what we should be giving them. Each department, as we cut like we do, that turns around and comes back on them. We can't provide the service that each one of us are elected to provide when we're having to do that with less and less money. So at some point, we're going to have to explain to them that it's either a tax increase or a reduced service. I mean, it is making a difference whether your business entity or what you are. There becomes a point where it takes a certain amount of funds to function with. And without those, then the amount of service that you give becomes that much less.
And so and that will create a ripple effect. And if we do increase the road and bridge tax, that's less than you have to take from the general fund, which will increase a little bit more money for the general fund, so that if there's some of these things like Sonia just cut some minor things and Summer just cut some minor things and you cut some, couple major, could that be put back in there to make those things happen?
So
But we
that's-
won't know that
that's-
till the number.
Commissioner, I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because the first thing that I think about is vehicles, right? And I have a fleet of about 10. And you figure you have to transport vehicles for the jail and things of that nature. Like I said,
I have 3 vehicles that are less than 100,000. When you talk about 30 to 35,000 a year that you put on the vehicle. And then when you appropriate the funds for one, it takes another year to get it. And it's not going to be long that we're way far behind. We're already behind. We're already behind. It's just how far behind do you want to get? And like Commissioner Williams was talking about, the ripple effect there, it'll come a point to where it won't be what we're talking about, can we raise it 1 or 2 or 3% and recover?
Yeah.
It'll be something much higher than that. And I think any of our constituency would have to, if we could speak to them for a minute, would understand that, just like we're doing here on YouTube. That somewhere we're going to have to start doing something, or we're all gonna be way too far behind.
Sheriff, thank you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
Yeah, okay, I'll get some direction to Charles. And anything else you want me to get for Monday's workshop, let me know. Anything else we need to discuss today?
Now,
I think everybody's worn out.
we've hammered everything so far.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would like to personally thank everybody. for-
Amen. Amen.
It's pretty difficult to cut $800,000.
It is, yeah. I'll thank everybody too. And a lot of work on the treasury department, did all these numbers all the time for other duties. Okay, anything else we need to discuss? So we got Commissioner Court Monday, August 3rd. We'll discuss all these and let me know if y'all need anything else we can get for the workshop, okay?
Well, before you, what, on that agenda, Judge, could you clarify that a little bit?
Well, we got, like last year, budget workshop, tax rate, payroll, budget.
But you got courthouse budget on the agenda.
Okay, well, it's a complete budget. That's what I had last year, so.
Tax rate, payroll, courthouse. I haven't even seen
That was on there last year.
I didn't see it on last year's. I looked. I didn't see that on last year.
Put county budget, okay?
Yeah.
Next, we making a change there, please?
And then payroll, is that for all offices?
Yes.
You don't want it updated.
Yeah,
Version of that.
So that, what's, I'm guessing that's what he means by that, on everybody. So that's elected officials too.
Yes. Okay, anything else? And then if you saw that, change that, we'll do amended agenda, county budgets, the courthouse budget.
And then the next thing, or summer, are we having accounts payables on that day? We didn't last year. We didn't last
it.
year.
Yeah, I thought it sounds fine.
Check, that's added. Does it say on that?
Cause it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be on, that means it's on every month.
Yes.
I mean, every Monday.
Every week.
Accounts payable will be every Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Until when?
Until September, I guess.
Till the end of August.
I'm like, all of a sudden we just
September
added 2
25th.
more days of accounts payable. So I'm just trying to figure out.
Deadline for me, got it every week. I guess until we're voting on the budget.
August 17th or sometime.
So then after that, we will just go back to regular meetings.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
But it's great if y'all would like to expend your money in August. That makes a great September for me. Then I have to do budgeting.
Yeah, and I'm working on old iron right now.
Okay, anything else? All right, I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Second by Mr. Head, everybody in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for all the work you've been doing.